I'm thinking about the word provision recently, and if you split it up, it's actually provision. And we talk about Jehovah Jireh a lot, which is the God who provides. I'm going to read it. It's in Genesis 22:14, which is where Abraham's sacrificing Isaac, and Isaac's like, "Where's the sacrifice? And where's the burnt offering?" And Abraham responds, "The Lord will provide," which is where we get Jehovah Jireh. And I was thinking about how, if you think about it, it has to do with vision. So God is not just going to be like, "Hey, here's something, you do the work with it." Or, I mean, He did provide a ram so that Isaac wasn't sacrificed. But basically, the thought of how provision and God's provision in our life is not just Him giving us stuff. It's Him seeing in advance what we're going to need, and then Him directing us based off of what we're going to need and things that He knows that we don't know. And I want to read a few scriptures that go along with that. So, and that's encouraging, because sometimes you think God's just going to give you stuff and then you have to figure out what to do with it or how to use it properly. And I think that He wants to guide us and use His vision, which is like professional vision is how I thought of it, like provision. But He wants to use His vision to show us what we should do with the things He gives us and the connections He gives us and the skills He gives us and all those things. So the first one, scripture, is John 16:13. It says, "However, when He, the Spirit of truth, has come, He will guide you into all truth, for He will not speak on His own authority, but whatever He hears, He will speak, and He will tell you things to come." So that's like provision. And then another one is Psalms 139:16. It says, "Your eyes saw my substance being yet unformed, and in your book they were all written, the days fashioned for me, when as yet there were none of them." So God knew every single day, and He could pre-see every single day and everything that would happen and how we would be. And it's written about in heaven right now, all of our days before we were even born. And then the last one is Psalms 32:8. It says, "I will instruct you and teach you in the way you should go. I will guide you with my eye." So I just thought, when you really break that word down, provision and provide, it has to do with God's sight and not just things that He gives us, not just finances. He does give us finances and He does give us people and all these things, but it's also having to do with Him seeing in advance what we can't see. And I looked up the word too. So our English word provide comes from the Latin word, I don't know how to say it, but provedere, and it's to see ahead. And the prefix can be like it has to do with beforehand or toward the front. And so I just think God is able to see what we